Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Martian Memorandum. Well, I think we've exhausted every single lead that we possibly can on Mars. I think we have done everything we possibly can and gotten all the things we need. So now it is time for us to knock over Big Dick's casino. And I think it's worth noting, the help here even tells you, this is Big Dick's office. I would save your game before you enter. There's a good chance you'll need it. They are not just whistling Dixie. Annoyingly, the go-to option does not work just for walking around the screen regularly. So yes, there's the office. And even though I have a save fairly close, we're going to go ahead and save here on file 6. Because this next sequence is timed, and we are not going to be able to waste any of it. Not my first mistake, but possibly one of the biggest. Inside the office, I'm immediately throttled by two goons the size of garbage trucks. After sufficiently crushing my larynx, I drop to the floor. Then one of them slams my head into a desk, and I drift away. As I come to, I find myself facing none other than Big Dick Castro. Somehow he knows who I am and what I'm after. It's obvious he's after something from me. And yes, this is why he is called Big Dick. He is a conehead. Well, something head. Big Dick Castro has the most enormous head I've ever seen on a Cuban. Totally bald, middle 30s, so it's far too late for him to learn to dress himself. He sports an orange polka dot shirt and tie someone has used as a napkin, and a white rayon sports jacket. He is everything you'd expect from a man with a big head named Dick. His teeth were nicotine stained from one too many Havanas, and his English was just slightly better than my Spanish. Big Dick's great-uncle Fidel was the top commie in Cuba, which meant he grew up on a crust of bread and dirty water. This had made Dick tough as nails and meaner than a rabid skunk. He'd gotten the gist of capitalism, and nothing would stand in his way.
I want the stone, Murphy. Where is it?
Let's go for blunt honesty. I don't know.
You're lying to me.
Why would I do that? Alexander's daughter got it, and I haven't been able to find her.
I know a bluff when I see it.
And then, yeah, look at me a minute to think. Or maybe I am, but can you afford to take that chance?
We'll be back in 10 minutes. You tell me then, or die.
Now, thankfully, they do not leave me tied up. And they do leave me here with this key card on the door. And where I can mess with that. And, oh yes, I can also open the grate up. But we're going to want to go back through the secret passageway first. And we are going to go ahead and save the game here. 7 on this one. Now, looking around here, you'll note we see these lasers, thanks to the goggles that we got from Brad. Control box used to turn off the pressure-sensitive pads and laser fields. The only one who knows the combination to turn off protective fields is Big Dick, and he's not going to tell you. You'll have to find a way to get through the security defense mechanism. Now, of course, standing here and walking through the lasers is completely and totally deadly. We have another sequence like we did with the jungle. Thankfully, we do have something that will allow us to not step upon the pressure-sensitive floor. And now I ask you to hum the exciting chase music from Back to the Future yourself, because I can't get YouTube to let me attach the music to this file. Do 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 do. You stumble into deadly laser fire. And this is going to be another trial and error section. It's going to be mostly air, and it's going to be a trial for me. Float above this part here. And I think we better save here just to make sure, because this is the tricky part. Because it looks like that should have hit me, but it didn't. And it looks like that shouldn't have touched me, but it did. Okay, so clearly we need to go a little higher on that one. Do 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 do. Okay, now we look at this baby, which is the mechanism set to scan Big Dick's eye. If the scan verifies the safe, Big Dick, the safe will open. And this mechanism is meant to scan his eye as well. Now, how are we going to get around this? Well, remember that handy-dandy, quick facial kit we've got? Okay, yeah, we're going to use the both of these in tandem to make ourselves look like Big Dick. So I can find the right thing to scan. That doesn't seem to do any good. Okay. I'll use the facial kit. Need to activate the computer lock first. Okay, yeah. Pesky order. Okay. Scanner's the second step in opening the safe. After you've used the card in the slot, you'll have to convince... Okay, yeah. Key card first, then do the stuff to disguise myself. Okay, so let's see. Key card. I've got way too many key cards. Door card key. I've still got the food and water from the travel here. Okay, it's the other key card, isn't it? Safe card key. Okay. A pleasant voice says, prepare for retinal scan. Okay, and now we may use... You place the putty on your face and stare at the Dick Castro trading card. Your face slowly turns into an exact replica of Dick. The computer says, ID verified. And now we have a couple of things. I take a marker. Cash, why not? He stumped you pretty good. You might as well make him pay for it. And looking at all the other stuff in here, we've got Big Dick's private stash of Vanessa cigars, 1 pound of the drug rush. Memorandum, a 20-year-old Fey memorandum with the following information. To Collier Stanton, the colonists have found an ancient Martian artifact. They call it the Oracle Stone. Evidently it has almost mystic powers. It is a find of great scientific importance, and I suggest we try to purchase it from them. If it can't be purchased, perhaps they will allow us to study it. Signed, Thomas Dangerfield, archaeologist. And we have our titular Martian Memorandum. And yeah, it's Stash. You're not that kind of detective yet. And the marker was, in fact, all this information on Lowell Percival that we need to get for him. So now we have the exciting task of trying to fly back through all of this. So just to be safe, safe, get it because we're in a safe. Where is my hoverboard? Ah, there we go. All right, now. Do 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 do. Okay, and I'll save here so I don't have to do the whole get back on the board thing again. All right, now. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do. Oh, come on, there's not a laser anywhere near there. Do. Well, at least we know where we're standing now. Do. Ah! So close. Oh yeah, we had to go up a bit, didn't we? Okay, now we can't go out the way we came in, which means we have to go out through the ducts. And it is lucky that we just happen to find those blueprints that show us the way out. Now, thankfully, the compass direction shows which way we're going. So we're now heading westerly along the little duct there, and then you turn left. And not surprisingly, the instruction manual gives you rather specific directions on this particular sequence, because this one is a pain in the butt to figure out. And you can stumble around here and find an exit eventually, but it's much easier if you don't have to do that. Okay, crossroads, and go left 2 spaces. And bingo! We escape into the bathroom. And we're going to get the heck out of here because, you know, clearly going back to Big Dick's office is suicide. But we have done it. They weren't kidding about the security protecting Dick's safe. I've never seen such an elaborate system. Since I've got him, I'll review several items I picked up. Lo Percival's gambling notes. I'll bet he'll tell me something I give these to him. The Martian Memorandum reads, 2 Collier stamps. The colonists have found an ancient Martian artifact. They call it the Oracle Stone. Evidently it has almost mystical powers. It's a find of great scientific importance, and I suggest we try to purchase it from them. If it can't be purchased, perhaps it will allow us to study it. Signed, Thomas Dangerfield, archaeologist. I know Stanton became Marshal Alexander, but who is Thomas Dangerfield? And that's a good question to ask, but first things first, let's go and get what we can from the rich business rival. Lo Percival is Mr. Business with all the warmth of a tax accountant. Dressed in a 3-piece suit that would cost most men 3 months' wages, he scowls warily. Percival is in his mid-50s, but his face looks older, heavily lined, and flushed with wire-rimmed glasses. And flushed with wire-rimmed glasses, not flushed with wire-rimmed glasses. That needs a comma. And graying, neatly trimmed beard and mustache. The man is the epitome of a cold, calculating Scrooge. Good work, Murphy. Now, what can I do for you? Well, Let's start at the beginning. Marshal Alexander. Now that he's dead, I'm going to get control of his empire and add it to my own. Then I'll be top dog. Terraform Corp. Terraform Corp got the early rights to silicon mining and built the utilities and buildings that allowed them to control the majority of commerce on the planet. I hope to someday control all of this myself. Collier Stanton. Everybody's heard about Stanton, the man who slaughtered an early Martian colony. Well, not everybody, because a lot of people hadn't heard of it. Rockwell Bach, don't know him. Jacques Sparrow, don't know him. Norma Desmond Alexander. A beautiful woman and a talented actress. I could use those terms loosely, of course. Now that she's a free woman, I intend to start seeing her. Galactic Pictures, don't know them. Lawrence Berkeley. He's that pinhead plastic surgeon I know from the Lions Club. TMS, the transportation system that gets most of these people to the planet. Don't know Mac Malden. I'm a man who knows how to exploit any advantage that might fall to me. Stanton Expedition. Don't know them. Don't know Chantel. Rick Logan. Rick Logan, I believe that's the name of the fellow who contacted me about the Oracle Stone, the magic rock. I know how to create an opportunity. I don't need magic to help me. He says, getting shifty-eyed. Alexis Alexander. It's too bad the Marshal Alexander's daughter's disappeared. I heard she was fast and loose. She was probably found murdered. Probably found murdered somewhere in an alley. However, that would mean controlling interest in Marshal Alexander's company would go to his wife, Norma Desmond Alexander. It won't benefit me if you find Alexis, but a deal's a deal. A fellow named Rocky Bullwinkle at Big Stick Casino might help you. Awfully sporting of him telling us that. Okay, Ferris Collett, don't know him. Guy Caballero, don't know him. Oracle Stone. I got contacted about a rock with magic power, a stone that helped Marshal Alexander become the wealthiest man in the universe. What a crock. He got there by being shrewd. That's how I intend to take his place. And his eyes were bugging out in a weird way in that picture. Thomas Dangerfield, don't know him. Jane Mansfield, don't know him. Dick Castro. Dick's got the vice concession on this planet pretty well wrapped up. That could change if Terraform decides to put him out of business and give the franchise to someone else. Now that you mention it, Alexis used to hang out there. Ask the guard there, Rocky Bullwinkle. You can't bother him at work, but he goes someplace near the casino after. I was in pretty deep to Castro. Now I'm out thanks to you. You're welcome, by the way. Alright, so let's see. Rocky Bullwinkle. Mention him already. Rocky's former prize fighter who's soft in the head. He's the bouncer at Big Dick's Casino. Try following him sometime. I know he has connections that may be able to help you. Deacon Hawk. Deacon Hawk's a beautiful woman who has a little too much radiation on the brain. She believes we desecrate this planet by importing our earthly ways and exploiting Mars the way we have the Earth. She wants to build a society based upon the long-dead Martian customs. But I say, if their customs are so hot, why are they dead and we're here? Nathan Bloodworth, don't know him. Bradley Erickson, don't know him. Johnny Fedora, don't know him. Don't know him, and oh, why not? You're pretty sharp, Murphy. Anybody who could get inside Castro's safe would have to be. Okay, so with that done, back to the casino. And we're going to go ahead and save game here as well. And I believe that is Rocky, who is going into the dark alley. And remember I said earlier about the help system kind of spoiling something in the alley? This would be it. But we're going to hide here so he doesn't see us. And what do you know? A secret speakeasy. You cautiously step through the doorway. I stumble into the smoke-filled, cheap barroom. It's packed to the gills of the scum of Martian society. It's the kind of place where people disappear, get stabbed, shot, or are forced to buy life insurance at outrageous prices. Then I spot someone familiar. It's Larry Hammond and his brother Daryl. Larry and Daryl are inseparable, mostly because they share the same set of shoulders. I worked with the boys on the Mean Streets case a few years back. The years had not been kind to Larry and Daryl. Larry's a brilliant computer scientist with an IQ over 300, but Daryl's just along for the ride. And, yeah, the appearances have changed a bit. In fact, I think their heads switched places. Good to see you, Tex. Been a long time. Well, nice that somebody's happy to see us for once. All right, we'll start with Marshall Alexander. He's the Lord King of Industry on this planet, or was. Terraform Corp. They haven't always been fair with our people in the past, and rumors are spreading that the company is in trouble. Collier Stanton, don't know him. Rockwell Bach, don't know him. Jacques Sparrow, don't know him. Norma Desmond Alexander, don't know her. Don't know Galactic Pictures. Lawrence Barkley. I tried to get him to remove this ugly growth from my shoulder, but he declined. Team S, the only boat ride out. That's an odd expression. Very Terry Jonesian. Don't know Mac Malden. Don't know Stanton Expedition. Lowell Percival. Lowe's actually isn't a bad guy. I've worked with him before. He's ambitious and he'd like to run things on his planet, but he's always been fair to me. If you treat him right, he'll return the favor. Don't know Chantel. We're going to get something useful out of him, I know it. Rick Logan. Alexis Alexander. I've seen the name on television and in the paper. She's the heir of the Marshall Alexander. She's been missing for several months. Don't know Ferris Collett. Don't know Guy Caballero. Don't know the Oracle Stone. Thomas Dangerfield. I know that guy. He's building some huge nuclear-powered reactor. I did some work for him on a magnetic field generation system. Well, that's something. Jane Mansfield. Daryl would like for you to arrange a date for him. Dick Castro. Big Dick is a vicious, savage gangster. He's gone crazy with power with that casino of his. He drove all of his competitors back to Earth. Rocky Bullwinkle. Rocky's okay. He's just a little dim-witted because his brains have been pounded into mush. He's kept his ears open for the mutants at Big Dick's. Deacon Hawk. Deacon knows everything that happens on Mars. I really think she can see the future. But she probably wouldn't talk to you. She tries to help those who are downtrodden, but give her this amulet. It may loosen her up a bit. Nathan Bloodworth. Nathan Bloodworth? He smuggles in contraband. He's got a wife in town by the name of Michelle. Here's the address. Dare I ask why he has the address of this lady? Okay, let's see. Michelle Bloodworth. Michelle keeps good tabs on Nathan. Nathan Bloodworth, Bradley Erickson. Bradley's a bitter, despondent young man. He believes he's the son of Marshall Alexander and feels he's been outcast and unfairly treated. Enough about Johnny Fedora, and I think that's it. So, with that lead, and we have to leave the alley first. Look at this brown and gray on brown and gray background. Alright, now we can travel to go see... What's her name? Michelle Bloodworth. The address for Michelle Bloodworth resembled a rusting steel box more than anything else. There's a small porch and on it a lonely wooden rocker. A rap on the corrosive metal door. A blousy woman, blowing her nose, passes the window and opens the door. Her face is gray and puffy. Her eyes are bloodshot, tired, and suspicious. It's obvious she's upset. She opens her mouth and reveals rotting yellow teeth. "What can I do for you?" she says. "I'm a detective. I'd like some information." Michelle Bloodworth immediately begins to sob. "I'm so worried about Nathan. I know he's in serious trouble." No comment. We'll go bottom to top this time. Tex Murphy. "I don't know anything about that. No snarky comment about me?" Don't know Alexandro. Johnny Fedora is one of Nathan's contacts on Earth. He was also involved in the plan. The plan? Okay, don't know Bradley Erickson. Michelle Bloodworth. "I'm Nathan's wife. I know what Nathan did on Martian Alexander was wrong, but it should have been done by the authorities years ago. I'm glad Alexander is dead." Okay, let's ask about Nathan. "Nathan is not a bloodthirsty killer. He told me that the plan was to trick Alexander into coming to a train yard by telling him he could buy this stone back. When Alexander arrived, he realized it was a trap. Alexander then struggled desperately to get away. Nathan ended up slashing his throat with a broken bottle. Nathan is part Cherokee. He cut Alexander's ears off as part of an ancient ritual. The ritual is to remind Alexander in the next world that he had no pity and did not listen to the screams of the dying. He wrote a curse on the side of the train in Alexander's blood, condemning him in the next world." So that explains the ears being cut off in the weird Cherokee curse. Deacon Hawk, don't know about her. Rocky Bullwinkle, don't know about her. Dick Castro. Castro was as evil in his own way as Stanton was in his. Don't know about Jane Mansfield. Thomas Dangerfield. I've heard the name mentioned by Nathan on occasion. I don't know if he's the man who told him about Alexander or not. The Oracle Stone was discovered by the early colonists. It was in protective mechanism that one day popped out of the ground. The stone is said to have magic powers that could make thoughts and dreams come true. Now I believe the same man who hired Nathan wants him dead because of everything he knows. You should talk to him and convince him to turn himself over to the police. He's been working at a remote outpost. Look for him there. Okay, Guy Caballero, nothing about that. Nothing about Ferris. Alexis Alexander. Nathan told me that Alexander's daughter was being tricked into stealing the stone from her father. Rick Logan, don't know him. Just another greedy businessman, I don't trust him. That was a group of scientists led by Collier Stanton. I wish I were on the TMS right now. Don't know Barkley. Galactic Pictures. Jacques Sparrow. Collier Stanton, Marshall Alexander, the same person. Terraform Corp. That company is founded on the innocent blood of hundreds of men, women, and children. Collier Stanton, yeah, same person. We figured that out. Marshall Alexander. Nathan told me he was going to kill Marshall Alexander because someone had convinced him that Marshall Alexander was Collier Stanton. Nathan's father, Robert, was the leader of the colonists that were massacred by Stanton so that he could get his hands on the Oracle Stone. Okay, well, Larry gave us that amulet. Let's see if the Deacon is willing to talk to us now. And it looks like the gate is wide open, which makes me suspicious, so let's go ahead and save here. Hello. The priestess appears to be tied to the pillar and is being prodded by a nasty fellow. A heavy-set man is prodding the priestess and yelling, "Tell me where it is or die." The bad guy's armed to the hilt with a very expensive laser weapon. And we've got two large, convenient mirrors here. Highly polished mirror made of Martian crystal. Highly polished mirror made of Martian crystal. I got a wonderful Grinchy idea. Because the prophecy said we would return the light from whence it came, right? Well, laser beams are focused light. And we just hope he doesn't look this way. And do this gives attention. The extinguisher falls, landing with an almost deafening ring. The bad guy turns and fires his laser at the sound. Let's go and untie the priestess. Deacon, whatever. Deacon Hawk may have been a high priestess, but she looks more like a goddess. In her late 20s, she's tall, and we've read this one before. So yeah, hot blonde chick.
The light has returned. Now I must give the knowledge you seek.
Okay, start at the beginning. Marshall Alexander. Marshall Alexander, or Collier Stanton, was a brilliant scientist. His lust for the power of the stone, however, drove him to commit genocide. Absolute power has that effect on people. Alexander was a highly intelligent man who learned to use the stone at an extremely limited level. Even at that level, looked at all he accomplished. Terraform Corp. That company has done much to damage this world. Collier Stanton. He massacred all the colonists who established a home in the Martian ruins at Vales Marinaris. He escaped to Earth and reappeared a few years later as Marshall Alexander. Don't know him, don't know him, don't know her, don't know Galactic Pictures, don't know him. The Trans-Martian shell is linked between Earth and Mars. Don't know Mac Malden. That's the group of scientists who murdered the colonists. Don't know Lo Percival. I know she's not going to know Chantel. Rick Logan. He attempted to contact me in regards to the stone, but was killed before I could get back to him. How did she know he was killed? Oh yeah, she knows much. That's right. Marshall Alexander's daughter arrived a short time ago. She contacted several people and disappeared. I believe she is now being held against her will. One person I know may help you locate Alexis. Her name is Cooper. His name is Cooper Bradbury. And this resets us back to the beginning every time we find new information. It's a bit annoying. Okay, so Ferris Collett, don't know him. Guy Caballero, don't know him. The stone is the last remaining gift of the mighty and noble race which was destroyed by an astronomical disaster that ripped away the Martian atmosphere 80 million years ago. On the day of their annihilation, the gift was put in a protective enclosure until it could be awakened by intelligent beings in the future. Something must have gone wrong, for man discovered it. The Martians were a kind and benevolent race. They would not understand the beast of hatred and destruction in the subconscious of human minds. Man's own intelligence is too underdeveloped to use the full power of the stone. But if a machine is developed to amplify the brainwave patterns to the stone, the beast inside man's subconscious would be released to create destruction on a galactic scale. Needless to say, this wouldn't be a good thing. Let's see, Thomas Dangerfield. Dangerfield was part of the Stanton expedition. As an archaeologist, he made the original discovery about the colonists having an artifact of great value. He advised Collier Stanton to try and purchase the stone from them, but they would not sell. When the massacre of the colonists took place, Dangerfield took no part in it. When Dangerfield threatened to inform the authorities, he was shot and left for dead. Dangerfield was never given up his search for the stone and for Collier Stanton. I believe the search has made him unbalanced, however. Don't know Jane. If he obtains the stone, the world is doomed. Yeah, okay, don't let the crime boss get it. Doesn't know Rocky Bullwinkle. You have returned the light to my adversary's weapon to save me, and I am in your debt. Big Dick's men were after the stone. It is foretold that you are the one to retrieve the stone or die trying. Let's go with that first one. If you recover it, it must be returned to me for safekeeping. You will need something in your quest. Search the ruins of the colonist camp. Here is the location. Nathan Bloodworth, don't know him. Don't know Michelle Bloodworth. Don't know Bradley Erickson. Bradbury is the leader of the mutant faction on Mars. He is not popular with the authorities. If you find him, he can help you locate Alexis Alexander. Well, let's go Johnny Fedora. I had a vision of you and your wonderful abilities. I did think you'd be taller, though. You'll need something in your quest. Search the colonist camp. Here is the address. And we have to leave the temple to get out of here. And we'll just pretend that I untied her. Didn't seem to let me do that. Well, it's a temple. Somebody will be along to untie her later, right? Right. Right. Okay, so let's see. Let's try the colonist camp next. The site where the Martian colonists were massacred by the Stanton expedition is still preserved. I walk slowly by blown-out homes and playgrounds as the wind whistles eerily through the twisted wreckage. Well, this is a nice change. Instead of gray and brown, now we've got gray, red, and brown. And cheerfully over here, the eerie but peaceful resting place of all 228 Martian settlers. Tail fin of a heat-seeking missile, a child sandbox, and we can try moving stuff around. You move the bucket to find a little girl's barrette. You move the scrap metal slightly, and then it's H2L2. HCl2 acid in a glass tube. You carefully take the acid. We push the metal aside to find a box containing a tuning fork. And yes, we actually do need these items in the end of the game. How very fortunate that we had a magic prophecy to tell us to come here and get them. And I think that's all we need. Let's see, HO, scrap metal tuning fork box. Yep, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and save here again real quick before we travel to the other new location we have. The remote outpost. Michelle Bloodworth told me that Nathan has a small mining operation near the Marineris Valley. I enter a small dome at the bottom of a deep canyon. Something is seriously wrong. Like, for instance, that dead body there. The bloody and broken remains of miner Nathan Bloodworth lie crushed on the hard, cold ground. He mouths the words, "Help, help," over and over, but no sound comes out. His lungs are punctured by his own broken ribs. He mumbles something about a trap. Of course it's a trap. Okay, the door slides open, and there is a rebreather. I take a bunch of tools. Looks like there's a box here. You look at a large wooden box. The box easily opens. Now look at the box and let's see. Heavy mining equipment including a robotic tunnel bore, a processing furnace for smelting, and a slurry box and pumps. Oh, that's the back wall, not the box. Solid I-beam has fallen across the body of an old man. Can I move it maybe? You heave the pipe aside. Okay, I believe your attorney would advise against this. Yeah, trying to move his body, I guess. And yeah, in case it's not immediately obvious what to do here, well, there's another doorway over here. That doesn't open. The box easily opens, and let's see, there's a card. The card is booby-trapped, and once pulled, you have to find a way to quickly escape the area. Spoiler! Box is located at the front middle of the screen. Open the box and get what's inside. The tools. The tools are against the back wall. You won't need them, but you can get them anyway. Rebreather. The rebreather is located inside the left door. Open the door and get the rebreather. Left door. Open the door and see what you can find inside. The fire. The fire is nice and hot. Let's see. Jetpack. The jetpack is found inside the right door. The door can't be opened by you directly. Get the card inside the box and something may help you. And the right door, you can't open the door directly. The door will be open for you when you do something else. And the miner is a lost cause. Let him die in peace. Yeah, I can't even try and comfort the poor schmuck, but okay. Get the card. You take the card and all hell breaks loose. You take the jetpack and notice that there's no igniter. Okay, use jetpack. Okay, let's use the jetpack. That's it, you have to click on the fire. You turn on the jetpack's gas, put it on, and back onto the fire. In a whoosh of black smoke, the pack ignites and you rise from the ground. In the air, into the sky, Junior Birdman. Lucky I picked up that rebreather. I can last for a while. The walk back to the base will be long, but not impossible. And suddenly I am huge! I am immense and immortal! Bow before me, pitiful Martian scum! Ah, heck. And there goes Rocky again. Well, that was pretty much a dead end. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks. The only other lead I have is trying to find this Martian guy. The only guy I can think of who might know where he is would be Bradley. Since it seems like he's active in the mutant rights area around here. Let's see, Cooper Bradbury. And yes, Bradbury, because we're on Mars. Martian Chronicles. Get it? Get it? Cooper's a militant freak who thinks the freaks are the rightful heir to the Mars. He's been a friend of mine since I was a kid. If you want to talk to him, try this address in the mutant side of Marinara City. Okay. Let us try that. Bradley Erickson gave me a hot tip on the whereabouts of Cooper Bradbury, and Brad told me about an alley in Freetown near the radioactive slag heap. Stepping from behind a street lamp, Bradbury is the king of freaks. Radiation had done its job on this guy. His huge concave forehead is covered with a green fungus that grows from the thousands of tiny holes that were left in his head after his hair dropped out. His nose is like a sow's. You could stare straight into his head through it. His eyes are wide-set and mongoloid in appearance. His teeth would look good on a 12-year-old horse, if he hadn't been missing the front two. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I don't normally help Outland scum, but I've been told you're resourceful. Remember my warnings, Murphy. I expect you to sell us the stone if you find it. Might as well start from the beginning. Never know. Word has spread fast in Alexander. We found that he's obtained the stone. He's oppressed us for years, making us his servants and breaking promises. He was always able to thwart our plans, and now we know why. Through the Oracle Stone, he can anticipate our movements and read our thoughts. Terraform Corp. Terraform will soon be ours. We will use its resources to make Mars a cleaner, better world than your Earth. Collier Stanton. Collier Stanton was a very clever man. He tricked Robert Bloodworth, the leader of the early mutant colonists, into allowing them onto their settlement. Once inside, they slaughtered these people like dogs. Then they bombed the settlement to make it appear to be an accident. When the truth was found out, he escaped to Earth and just disappeared. Don't know him. Don't know him. Don't know her. Don't know them. Oh, yeah, Bradley. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, he sold out to people like you. Well, plastic surgeon trying to get rid of his mutation. Understandable. TMS. The Trans-Martian Shuttle is never Earth-owned business. We intend to nationalize. Don't know him. Stanton Expedition was a scientific group that came to study the Martian ruins, discovered in 2015. Wow, remember those Martian ruins we discovered last year? The leader is a man named Collier Stanton. Low Percival, another Outlander. We'll get rid of him and the other slime when the time comes. Don't know her. Rick Logan. Don't know anything about him. Alexis Alexander. Marshall Alexander's daughter. I don't have any idea where she is, and we have sources everywhere. Maybe she isn't on Mars anymore. Maybe she got back to Earth. Ferris Collett. Ferris is the head of the Terraform plant for now. Don't know Guy Caballero. Oracle Stone. That Martian stone should be ours, but if you're not prepared to pay handsomely for it. The first settlers on this planet were outcasts, and Alexander killed people like us for it. We deserve the stone and the right to this planet. Mars is our home. To us, Earth is just a nice place to visit. People like you and the others should go back to Earth. We prefer to push all the norms off of our world. The stone will help us do that. If you get the stone, you'd better make sure it comes to us, or you won't get off Mars alive. Let's see, Thomas Dangerfield. I've got an idea where you'll find Thomas Dangerfield. It's rumored he's building some machine in the caverns near the Terraform plant. But knowing where he is not enough. It seems he's figured out ancient Martian interlocking mechanism. No one can get into the cavern without a device for the mechanism, but here's the location. Let's see, you don't know Jay Mansfield. Castro is a cruel, vicious snake. He runs the Golden Bucket and has bled the people dry as well, as forced competition out. He's a freak, but his mannerisms are more like your people than ours. He's looking for the stone as well, and will kill anyone who stands in his way. And Rocky Bullwinkle. Rocky's just a big, stupid fool. Deacon Hawk. She may be the only truly decent person on this planet. Deacon Hawk heads a cult that worships the peaceful ways of the long-dead ancient Martian culture. That may have been of the future, but first there was a... that may be the wave of the future, but first there must be a violent revolution. Nathan Bloodworth is the son of Robert Bloodworth, the leader of the early colonists on Mars that were slaughtered by the Stanton Expedition. And that jumped us up to the top again for some reason. Rob Bloodworth led an early mutant colony that supposedly discovered the Oracle Stone. Don't know him. I lead the rightful heirs to this planet. Mutants were the first settlers of this world. Now we intend to take the planet back from the Outlanders. You have no right to be here. Bradley Erickson. Bradley's mutant son of Marshall Alexander, who was given away because of his deformities. We take over Terraform on Mars. He will take his rightful place at the head of that company on this planet. Michelle is the wife of Nathan Bloodworth. Yeah, we got that already. Don't know that. Don't know Fedora. Okay, I think that covers everything. So let's see, what was the location that he just gave us? We've got... Let's see, got him, her... Cave. That would be the location, I think. The coordinates for Thomas Dangerfield are near the mouth of a large cavern, about 2 kilometers from the power plant. I enter the opening and find a set of stairs heading down inside the mountain. The stairs seem endless, but eventually I find myself in a narrow corridor. And I think this is where we will close this chapter, and next time we will begin the ending of the game. We'll see you then.